Hello YouTube, and welcome back to Allie's Wonderland Creations. I am Allie Seraphin, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. I want to thank all of you for subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't subscribed, I would invite you to do that now, if you would like. My purpose of my channel is just to share my love of paper crafting with you, as I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. You can also shop with me if you choose. I don't push the sales and the purchasing from me because that is not the purpose of this channel. But I would appreciate it if you feel like you want to, so I don't talk about that a whole lot. So let's get started. This is Paper Pumpkin Alternative video number 9, March 2023, 10 years of growth. And I'm going to move my whiteboard. The whiteboard helps me when I load things up to YouTube. So this is the flyer sheet. It's a stained glass theme for April's Paper Pumpkin kit. This is the instruction / flyer for this month's kit, and it's got very detailed instructions for all of the projects. It even has a little code on the back you can scan to get other ideas. I tend to do my own thing with my Paper Pumpkin. I do not watch other Paper Pumpkin videos for this month until I'm all done with my projects. That way I can honestly say that what you see is mine, but I do watch them and I use that inspiration for other projects or the next Paper Pumpkin kit that comes out. So just want to make sure you know that. Now I'm going to tell you that May 6th is my birthday. May 7th I am holding a YouTube live event. It is a Stamp-A-Stack, and I have 11 packages of Dandy Designs DSP that I would like to mail out to those who are interested. I only have 11. Doesn't mean you can't buy. If you don't have them, you can't come on by on May 7th at 11 o'clock Pacific Coast time to come Stamp-A-Stack with me. So I would like to mail these out to those who are interested. It has those. This is my package. I have, I forgot what this is. 4 by 1.5 inch strips. There are some punch pieces in here too. I tend to use keep these shapes around for using on cards to see if a punch will fit. So if you don't want to use them on a card and you were one who would like to receive this, keep them for that purpose, just for a template. So anyways, enough of that. I've already mailed out some of those. So what do we have here? You want to see the card? I do love this card. The simplicity of this card, and it is, as far as there's no stamping on this card, outside or the inside. I did use 3 different embossing folders, which I have to get out of the box again. As I started this video earlier, I had to delete it. My husband came in and needed me, and so I quickly cut it off, and it's a good thing I didn't get far. So I used the Timber embossing folder, and I used this Greenery embossing folder, both of them. And I'm not sure if this is current or not, but these are the only, besides the musical note called Melody, the only embossing folders I have that are even close to being current. And I'm not buying any new ones until April, until I can order from the new catalog. So let me show you what we're going to do. So let me put my card up again. Kind of hard getting my thought process. I had to run down to the store for my husband. So we're using the envelope as the envelope. We're using this card base. This half here is going to be for the inside. We're going to trim that down. We're going to use my guillotine to cut off the sides and then fussy cut along the top. So this we are going to use. Now we're going to start out with a soft suede card base that's 4 1/4 by 11. That means it opens this way. It can also open this way, but just so you can see that I'm using it with the fold at the top. Okay. And then we have 2 strips of fresh freesia that I ran through that Greenery embossing folder. They are 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4. We have 2 of those. We have a piece of Balmy Blue. Yes, Balmy Blue is going with this today. So, and this was ran through the second embossing folder of the greenery one. And this is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And the reason why it's 3 1/4 is because that's what fits in that embossing folder. I had to trim it down a bit. So we're using the window card base. We're going to cut that out. And I have a 1 inch strip by 3 3/4 inch strip of crumb cake that I embossed with the Timber embossing folder. I'm using some gold foil for the Splendid Stem dies. On my card base, the one you saw, I used this die. Now I will tell you, what I did do and what I have been doing is I just take a 1/4 piece of cardstock and I run through as many dies on that piece of cardstock that I can, whether it's gold foil or any other color. I just run it through that. So on this card, because this is a piece I have left, we're using this on this card. It's just this one here. This is the one that was used on the other card. So it's just one of those things. We are using this little flower pot from the kit, this little piece of ephemera or die cut, whatever you want to call it, and this greenery piece. Yikes. And the card base. So let me put those back together on my little magnetic clip. And that aside, and we are using soft suede ink with the Sponge Dauber in Balmy Blue blends. So let's start off with the cutting up of the card base. So I'm going to fold this just easily in the middle because I am going to start cutting on the left-hand side, the back of the card at 4. I'm going to turn it now that it's cut off and go to 5 1/4. This little piece has done its job. It can go in the recycle bin. That's for the inside of our card. I'm going to set that aside. Now, I have an itch on my finger. Now we are going to work on cutting this off. Now, the pieces that I'm cutting here, here, and here, I'm going to save. Never know when you can use that little strip of white. So I am just getting, I wonder how I can show you. There on my particular cutter, I am lining this edge up just a hair inside of, you can see that little bit of white. I go until I don't see any white and I'm cutting it off, and I need to cut some more because I don't want any of that on my card. I want all that cut off, at least for this one. So I can't really tell you the measurement. I'm just telling you that's the look I'm going for. Now I'm going to bring the side of it into the guillotine and cut. I'm leaving a tiny, tiny little border of blue. Of white. It will be blue once I use the blends on it. So that looks really good. Okay, now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to fussy cut that. Let me show you. I'm keeping this piece. I will eventually cut off the fold line. I'm keeping this piece, and I'm keeping this piece in my scrap white. Those can be used and will be used, if not for this kit, for something else. So I'm just going to take my snips, and I'm going to start right there, and I am going to just fussy cut. Bring your scissors down and turn your paper. There we go. That's all I'm doing. This has served its purpose. Recycle bin for you. So next we're going to do some of that coloring with the blends. Now this might take me, let me get a piece of paper. It is kind of streaky with the blends. I think it's just the way this card, the card base is, and it looks really cool actually. So I'm taking my dark, I don't want that up there. I am taking the dark Balmy Blue. It's up to you which end you use. I tend to go with the brush tip, but not sure. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start and do to the left of this little half moon window, just little streaks of the dark. And sometimes it gets thicker and sometimes it isn't. So I'm going to come up here, go like that, come down here. I'm going to go in this side, do the same. Now I'm going to reverse it for this side. That's all I'm doing. Nothing fancy here. I'm just giving it a little bit of shadowing. And whatever I do on one side, I'm doing on the other. Maybe opposite. And you can see it's kind of like wavy lines. I'm not being really particular. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to go straight across this one at the top. Even if it breaks up, I'm going to come here. And I'm going to come down the side, over, maybe a little there. So since I did that on the outside, I'm going to repeat that over here. I'm going to go a little L there and just a little bit there. I'm going to repeat that again. So a big L on that side, a big L on this side, little L, maybe a hint of a bit there, a hint of a bit there. And then this one, I'm going to repeat it the same as I did up above. 2 L's, a little bit at the top, little bit at the top, an L, little streak, and a big L on the side. Okay, that's all for the dark. Now, I'm thinking my Balmy Blue needs a new. It's getting kind of light there. I'm running out of Balmy Blue ink. I am literally going to scribble this all over this whole thing. So, light Balmy Blue. You can hear it, scribble, scribble. That's what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm thinking I'm needing a new Balmy Blue because I use Balmy Blue an awful lot for outlining. Hopefully I don't have to switch to the bullet tip because I really don't want to. I want to keep it trying to go up and down. But this end of my marker has seen so much use in me outlining things that it's wearing out, but it's doing its job. And I like the streaks in the window. Kind of remembers of when you clean a window, how it gets those streaks. So I'm just going up and down all over this window. Ooh. Okay. Now you can go more, you can do whatever. Balmy Blue is going to be on my list of things to get. So I'm taking the dark blue now and I am going around. See how much better this works when it has lots of ink in it? But you got to work with what you got. So I'm going around that little white all the way around. I'm coloring all that on the outside in with the dark Balmy Blue. Oh, and I forgot, I did use some Orchid Oasis on the outside of this too. I didn't re-ink it, at least I might have to now since it's sat for a while. Just off of the sponge dauber. I didn't put that down, but maybe I should take a second. But we'll see. Okay, so our window is now got some color in it. And like I said, here's the Orchid Oasis. You can see where I sponged it off. And I'm not going to add any. I think I can do this without it. I just want to deepen the very edge of that Balmy Blue, the dark Balmy Blue. And if you hold it closer to where you're flicking your sponge dauber, it tends to work better. Yep, it's going to give me enough. Last edge. There we have it. It's done. You see how it's got that little bit of Orchid Oasis around the edge. So our window is done and there is, oh, we have one more piece we have to sponge. So here here we go. I don't even think I need to re-ink it. Some soft suede. I labeled mine. So I am brushing the soft suede onto the crumb cake that was ran through the timber embossing folder. So there is that. Don't even need to open the ink pad. Now we can get to assembling our card. So we're going to start with our strips. Yes, I started to think, oh, let's start with this, but no, let's start with the strips. So we're going to start with the strips. I want my leaf in this part to face up. It's up to you. So I'm just going to add some glue. I am going to pop this down. There's a lot of dimension in this card. So there's that. That gives us that little bit of a border. And doing it this way, we don't have to put a full sheet of fresh freesia behind our card, our layers, because we're just using little strips. So there's that. Now I want my balmy blue in the center. You can glue this down flat. I didn't. I went ahead and used dimensionals even though I'm running low. And I placed them on my card like so. I placed one there, one in the middle, one on each side of the middle, one down at the bottom, and I'm just using that fresh freesia as a guide to where it needs to go. And then I placed one in the center like so. So let's get all of these off, hopefully. And then our big window is going to have dimensionals on it too. But let's get the balmy blue down first, shall we? And I hope everybody's doing well out there. My grandson came home from school. I got a call from the principal today, guys. A kid has been bullying him pretty bad. Made him cry. One day my grandson's going to knock somebody out. He's built like a linebacker, and that isn't a lie. But they were teasing him about not having a dad. Can't help that his dad was an abusive degenerate, in my opinion, but the principal did a good job. So there's our balmy blue, and you can see we've got that layer there, just bumped up a bit. Now our stained glass, you need to figure out where you want that. Where is, okay, you guys just saw me sponge my strip. I need that. I need this strip. Where did it go? How could that disappear? There it is. It's under the glue, but I was going to lose my mind. I was like, okay, what can I do? This is acting like a shelf. And I think it's kind of neat how I have it hanging over the edge, at least for my opinion, that is. So figure out where you want your window to land. I want mine up at the top. I want enough there, so that looks good to me. I'm going to take that away. I'm going to hold my finger right where I want the edge of this. Put this on the card so I've got just about equal amounts hanging off the balmy blue, and just put the balmy blue in that area. Not putting any dimensionals on this piece, but my finger is my guide is far up from the bottom. I need to place this. So I'm just going to rub my finger on there, getting that glue to adhere to the balmy blue. As you can see, it's got dimensionals behind it. So this piece now needs dimensionals. I told you I put quite a few on here. So 2 at the bottom, we're going to repeat pattern again. 1 at the top, 2 at the sides, and then 1 here and 1 right there, just to give it some stability, even though it really doesn't need it, I guess, in the center, but I don't want it to sag, have saggy bits on my card. So next we're going to place our shelf. our window on top of our shelf. Now we're going to place, believe it or not, we're going to place our flower pot next. That's because it's going to determine, I want it in the center of this line of the window. And all I did for this one was use a mini. I didn't feel it needed anymore, and I'm putting the mini on the crumb cake because that way I know it's right where it should be. And hopefully that's centered enough. Now, this is not glued down underneath there. That way I can put my greenery and stuff in its place. I can just tuck them down in there. And we are going to do that with, let's do dimensionals. So let's see. First of all, let's put it all together. Shall we? There's that bit. We're going to just line up the bottom of the stems, and then you can see how I'm doing it. I'm going to put it all just like so, because I want that gold in between the green and this Orchid Oasis stuff. So I'm going to use my pokey tool. I'm going to put just one glue dot here on the front. I don't think I need any more than that to start off with. There we go. Now I'm going to add some glue dots to the back of this one. So I'm going to add one here and one on this one. All right, and then I'm going to pop that right on top of the gold foil one. And it looks like I want to make sure, why are you not sticking? There's that one. I can put one under this one now. I just wanted to make sure I had some place for it to stick to besides the back of the card or the window part. So I'm going to pop that right there. Now this can go just in there like so. So what do I want to put on there? Glue, or do I want to put glue dots? I think we're going to do glue dots. You know, because we can. We have them. They came with the kit. Not sure this is the sheet that came with the kit, to be quite honest, as I have a couple of sheets. Not sure about that. Maybe glue would have been a better choice. I started with dimensionals. I use dimensionals on the card. That's why I thought I would do so. I'm going to add one on this leaf. I don't need to do all of them, just on some of them. And just on the big green one on the back of it. So there's that. Oh, that one came off right away. Good. Stay off of my card. Okay, that should quite do what I need done. Okay, so now move all those little backings, pop that up, pop my flower right there, and I'm gonna tuck one in right down in here, just one. If I could get the, why is it, that's working so well for me right now. Surprise, sometimes it just doesn't do it, but there it is. Okay, let's move all this stuff because this card is like, just needs a few finishing touches. We need to glue the inside piece. What surprised me about this card is I didn't want to, once I got it designed, I'm like, it doesn't need anything else. You could add a sentiment to the inside. I'm choosing to wait until I know what I want to put on the inside. As this could be an anything card. This set, you could put anything. This would make a beautiful sympathy card. There is so much this card could be. So we're going to close up the glue, put my little magnet over there, and I'm going to bring in, I know these are retired. These are the blue adhesive back gems, and I've been using them quite a bit for this kit. I'm going to use these blue ones this time, and I'm going to use 3 of them, just the little ones. So I'm going to put one, let me see, I put one in this window, and I put one over, not there, that is not where I put it, right there, and then one down here in that little triangle to draw your eye around the card. Okay, so that's all for those. And next, I'm really getting use out of these faux sea glass. They're really getting a workout this time. So this one is going to go right about here in the middle, and then I'm going to work on the outsides of the center one. I used one of the larger ones, so there's 3. It even looks good with 3. This one has 5. These are smaller. I'm going to leave the 3. That looks pretty good to me. So believe it or not, guys, that is this card. It's going to get its envelope, and I think it's just beautiful. I love the simplicity of the card, letting this card as it is speak for itself, and then you have whatever you wish to write on the inside. I didn't want to do any stamping or anything on the inside because I didn't do any of that on the front, but I am really I have to tell you, I really like this card. And it just, you know, I'm putting just a wink of Stella in this line as an afterthought. There you go. Just to add a little sparkle. I hope that you guys like my alternative. I would really like to know your opinion. Your comments, you have no idea. I love the comments. I love to text with you back. I reply to every single comment. It's the best part of every day that I have. And I know that I might say this a lot, but it truly comes from the heart. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me in my endeavor in sharing my love of paper crafting and my hobby with you. I do not do this as a business. I do this to share and to reach and to give back to a community that has given me so much love, warmth, and friendship. And it means the world to me, this channel. And I was so scared when I first started. And I'm not perfect at it. I hope I'm never perfect at it. I always just want to be me, and I want to thank you so much. So please come back and visit me in my wonderland. Bye-bye now.